أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله الذي لا يبلغ مدحته القائلون ولا يحصي نعماؤه العادون ولا يؤدي حقه المجتهدون الذي لا يدركه بعد الهمم ولا يناله غوص الفطن الذي ليس لصفته حد محدود ولا نعت موجود ولا وقت معدود ولا أجل ممدود فترى الخلائق بقدرته ونشر الرياح برحمته وودد بالسخور ميادان أرضه والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وخاتم النبيين وأفضل الخلق أجمعين الذي سمي في السماء بأحمد وفي الأرض بأبي القاسم المحمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين المنتجبين واللعنة الدائمة على أعدائهم أجمعين من الأولين والآخرين آمين يا رب العالمين. فقد قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم إن الحسين مصباح الهدى والسفينة النجاة صدق رسول الله الكريم صلوات محمد وآل محمد. Brothers, sisters, respected elders, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace, mercy and blessings of Allah the Almighty be upon and amongst all of you. We gather again tonight for one reason and one reason only, so that we benefit from the lantern of guidance, so that we benefit from Misbah al-Huda, the one who not only guides, but in fact himself is a lantern of guidance, is a Misbah of guidance, is a chiragh of guidance. Hidayah is a form of light. Guidance is a form of nur. It is said in the narrations in the hadith of the Holy Prophet that Hidayah, guidance, is a form of light that if it enters the heart, it makes the heart bright. It makes the heart munawwar. It is a form of nur. Yesterday we discussed nur, we discussed light. Today inshallah I'll take it further and look at some of the ayat of Quran which speak about light, which speak about this nur. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Holy Quran, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Allahu nuru samawati wal ard. That Allah is that nur which is between the heavens and the earth. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, I am that light that exists between the heavens and the earth. Allahu nuru samawati wal ard. Mathalu nurihi kamishkatin fiha misbah. MashaAllah. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, المصباح في زجاجة الزجاجة كأنها كوكب دري يوقد من شجرة مباركة زيتون. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, I am the nur between the heavens and the earth. Allahu nuru samawati wal ard. And then Allah says, the example of my nur, masalu nurihi, the example of the nur is like what? Kamishkatin fiha misbah. It's like a niche, or it's like a gap, a space in which there is a lamp, a form of flame or a light. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, my light is in a niche, in a space. A niche is a comfort zone. A zone where, or a place where you can comfortably place something. So imagine a wall, there is a gap, and you have a lamp. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Al-Misbah fi zujajati. This lamp, within it, this lamp is surrounded by glass. In other words, imagine a lantern. This lamp is surrounded by glass. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Zujaja ka'annaha kawkaban durriya. It is like a brightly shining star. Imagine the brightly shining stars in the middle of the night. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, my nur is something like this. And then it says, it is lit. What is it lit from? Yuqadu min shajaratin mubarakatin zaytuna. It is lit from the blessed tree. Shajarat al-Mubarakah, Zaytuna, the blessed olive tree. This was the translation. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving a misal or an example or a tashbih of His nur. That my nur is like a lamp surrounded in glass in a comfort zone, in a niche. Now, if this ayah is compared with the hadith of the Holy Prophet used the same word regarding Abu Abdullah al-Hussain. Al-Hussain, inna al-Hussain misbahul huda. The same word which is used in this ayah of Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, my nur is also within the misbah. Abu Abdullah al-Hussain is that lantern of guidance. In the olden days, when there was no electricity, when there was no light bulbs, people would use a lantern. So when they would go out and it would be dark, they would carry a lantern. A lantern is a glass object surrounded by glass. Within it there is a flame, a small flame which is lit with oil. Whenever there would be darkness, whether it be at home or outside, even within the homes, they would use the lantern at home to see within the darkness. Or if they were to go outside, now we have street lights. In those days, there were no street lights. So they would carry this lantern outside wherever they go. This lantern was a form of guide. When it would be dark, it was a form of guide. Imagine you're going from destination A to destination B, from A to B. You use a sat-nav, a navigation system. This system guides to go from A to B. MashaAllah. This lantern was of similar use. When you couldn't see a few meters ahead of you, if you hold the lantern in front of you, it would create nur. It would create light, so that it would allow you to see ahead. It would allow you to see on the right, left, behind, wherever you use this lantern. It was a form of navigation in that day. Now today, we have light bulbs. We don't use such a thing, but in those days, this was used as a metaphor, that the light of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is like a lantern of guidance. That if you want the guidance, if you want to see in the fitna of corruption of aqa'id, you refer to the light of God. And God is that light. Allahu nuru samawati wal ard. And for this reason it is said that Abu Abdullah al-Hussain is misbahul huda. Whenever there was darkness of lack of education, lack of correct beliefs and aqa'id, Abu Abdullah al-Hussain is like that lantern. If you hold on to Abu Abdullah al-Hussain, and Abu Abdullah al-Hussain is in front of you, you follow Abu Abdullah al-Hussain. Abu Abdullah al-Hussain would make the dark streets bright. Abu Abdullah al-Hussain would open the doors of knowledge. He would open for you doors and ways and secrets that you would not get unless you have this lantern of light. That's Abu Abdullah al-Hussain. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Misbah. Have you ever wondered why the Holy Prophet uses the word misbah? Why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that my nur is kamishkatin fiha misbah? Why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is using these words? The misbah is a glass barrier. The misbah is a light which is surrounded by a glass barrier. The job of the glass barrier is to protect that light which exists within it, so that the wind may not blow out the light, so that the water, so the light, the flame is saved from rain, from wind, from gust, from any sorts of dust that may blow on it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has surrounded it with light. In other words, within that lantern exists the flame. In the same way, within Abu Abdullah al-Hussain exists that light of guidance. Abu Abdullah al-Hussain is that Imam in which exists knowledge and ilm of everything. You read in Surah Yasin, and we have placed everything fi imamin mubin. We have placed everything, the knowledge, the secrets of ilm of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala within the Imam Ma'soom. And the lantern which guides is an example for us that all mu'mineen, Muslimeen, the mu'min should become like a lantern. The mu'min should become like the misbah. So the mu'min is one, like you benefit from the light of the lantern, you benefit from the presence of your mu'min brother. You benefit from the presence of your mu'min sister, the mu'mina. How? For example, if someone is in need of money and a mu'min brother has that money, he lends that money. If someone is in need of any sort of financial or economic support and a mu'min brother has the ability to help, he helps with that financial support. In other words, the mu'min is like a misbah. That like people benefit from the light, from the nur of the light, mu'mineen benefit from the presence of each other. The Holy Prophet would say 3 times, he is not a believer, he does not have iman, he does not have faith. Who ya Rasulullah? The Sahaba would ask, the companions would ask, who, O Prophet of God? The Holy Prophet would say, he is not a mu'min, he is not a believer who sleeps on a full stomach when his neighbor sleeps hungry. And they would ask, oh Messenger of God, Ya Rasulullah, who is the neighbor? The one on my left or the one on my right? The Holy Prophet would say, it is not just the neighbor on your left or the neighbor on your right. In fact, it is 40 homes to your left, 40 homes to your right, 40 homes in front of you and 40 homes behind you. MashaAllah. This makes neighborhood. This is your neighbor. Rasulullah would say he does not have faith. He has not believed. Who, O Messenger of God? He who stuffs himself, who sleeps on a full stomach, but his neighbor is hungry. The children of his neighbor do not have any food to sleep at night. Sallu ala Muhammad. Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen was asked to do the tafsir of this ayah. Amir al-Mu'mineen was asked, Ya Ali, what is the meaning of this nur of God? That this is like a mishkat, fiha misbah. Amir al-Mu'mineen was asked to do ta'weel of this ayah. Amir al-Mu'mineen said that that niche, that comfort zone, in which there is that light, in which exists that nur, is no one except my wife Fatima Zahra. Sallu ala Muhammad. Salawat ala Muhammad wa Amir al-Mu'mineen says that safe zone, that comfort, that niche in which exists that lamp is my wife Fatima. And that lamp, that light are my 2 sons, Imam al-Hassan and Imam al-Hussain. These are the 2 lights. And that kawkab, that brightly shining star, the example of that is the example of Fatima amongst all the ladies of the world. For this reason we find that Rasulullah would say that Fatima tu sayyidatun nisa'il alameen. Fatima is the best of ladies of the world, of the alam, of the alameen, of the universe. But then others said there are other sayyidatun nisa'il alameen. Maryam is sayyidatun nisa'il alameen. Prophet elaborates further. He says yes, but Fatima is Sayyidatun Nisa'il Alameen wa Sayyidatun Nisa'i Ahlil Jannah. That Fatima is not only the queen of the ladies of the world, she is the queen and the Sayyida of the women of Jannah, of those pious mu'minah women, the mu'minat that shall reach the paradise, that shall reach the Jannah. Fatima al-Zahra is their queen. She is above all of them. Amir al-Mu'mineen sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And then when it was asked, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, what is this shajaratil mubarakatin zaytuna? This blessed tree from which the light is lit, from which this lamp is lit, from which it gains its source and energy. Amir al-Mu'mineen said this shajara is the family tree of Nabi Ibrahim. This is that family tree from which Ibrahim's progeny descends and it reaches us, Ahl al-Bayt. Brothers and sisters, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran speaks about two trees. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives the example of the goodly tree, shajaratu tayyibah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about the evil tree, shajaratu khabisa. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about two trees. But then he says the kalimatu tayyiba ka shajaratu tayyiba. Good words, good actions, good iman, good faith is like the good tree, is like a healthy tree. What does that mean? This means that this tree is a tree of haqq, it is a tree of iman, it is a tree of faith, it is a tree which does not have any oppression or any dhulm in it. For example, imagine a tree which grows healthy and gives fruit. People benefit from the fruit. People eat from that fruit. This is shajaratul tayyiba, that there is no form of batil, no form of falsehood that is found there. But on the other hand, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says bad words are like shajaratun khabisa, like the impure or the evil tree. The example of that is like the tree which not only is unwanted, but it is cut off. For example, the weed plants, or plants that, for example, that grow in your back garden, or in the farms, that not only look ugly, they invite insects. You know, farmers have to use pesticides and they cut these trees off. These are unwanted trees. These trees, no one benefits from them, no fruit grows on them, and in fact they have no use for the people. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has compared it to bad words, bad actions. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says kalimatu tayyiba is like the good words, is like the good tree. Bad words are like the bad tree. In other words, if you become a mu'min which has iman, if you become a mu'min who has good faith, you are like the good tree. You will give fruit. People will benefit from that fruit. But if you become, or I become, someone who not only sins but causes other people to sin, but influences other people to fall into sin, we become like the bad tree. Not only is there no benefit, but such a tree should be cut off. This is a tree which is shajaratun khabitha. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said these are two trees that exist in the Holy Quran, two main trees. A'imma Ahlul Bayt were asked regarding the trees. Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq salawatullah wa salamuhu alayhi was asked. Imam said the good tree is a tree in which there is no batil, there is no falsehood. He said the roots of the tree, if you have a tree, the roots are the most important part of the tree. If you cut the roots, the tree will die. If you break a flower, eventually it will die. Look at what Imam says. Look how Imam explains this shajaratul tayyiba. Imam Sadiq salamullah alayhi says the roots of the tree, Imam says the roots of the tree is my grandfather Rasulullah. Imam says the roots is my grandfather Rasulullah. The tree, the bark is my grandfather Ali ibn Abi Talib. And the branches that grow are Al-Imam Al-Hassani wal-Hussain. And the fruit that grows from such a tree is the ilm of the Imam. It represents the knowledge of the Imams. Imam says the tree represents us Ahlul Bayt. The fruit represents the ilm imamat, the knowledge of imamah. And then Imam was asked, what about the leaves? Do you know what Imam said? He said the leaves are shi'atuna. They are our shi'ah. That every time a new leaf grows, a mu'min shi'ah is born. And every time a leaf falls, a a mu'min leaves the dunya. The leaves represent us Shia, the Shia of Ahlul Bayt. And then he was asked about Shajaratul Khaditha. Imam Salamullah alayhi said this refers to Bani Umayyah. Banu Umayyah who have been cursed in the Quran. This Shajara is Shajara of Banu Umayyah. Shajaratul Tayyibah is Shajara of Ahlul Bayt. Shajaratul Khabitha is the same Shajara which Quran says Shajaratul Mal'una. The one that is cursed. The tree which is impure, in which there is nifaq, in which there is kufr, in which there is batil, in which there is zulm, oppression, those who kill. For this reason you recite in Ziyarat Ashura of Aba Abdullah al-Hussein, La'anallah Bani Umayyatan Qatibatan. Curse of Allah be on Banu Umayyah. This is that same tree which has been cursed in the Holy Quran. And the tree of Ahlul Bayt is the tree which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed, not only till Ibrahim, but all the way from Rasulullah to Ibrahim, from Ibrahim to Nabi Adam. Because this is that tree from which the light of guidance is lit. Shajaratin mubarakatin zaytuna. That pure tree, Amir al-Mu'mineen said, the family of Ibrahim. And we are the children of Ibrahim. Sallu ala Muhammad wa Muhammad. Those who belong to Shajaratul Tayyibah will not have any zulm in their hearts. And those who belong to Shajaratul Mal'una, they are the ones who oppress. They are the ones, if they do not oppress, at least they support oppression. Or they remain silent in oppression. And for this reason, when we recite in the dua of Imam Hussein, you recite, not only do we curse enemies of Ahlul Bayt, Abu Abdullah al-Hussein, we curse the supporters and we curse those who remained silent when Abu Abdullah al-Hussein was being killed. When Abu Abdullah al-Hussein was surrounded by the soldiers of Banu Umayyah. We curse those who remain silent in the same way. Why do we curse them? Because this teaches us, whenever anywhere there is oppression, whenever anywhere there is zulm, we as mu'mineen, as Shia of Imam al-Hussein, are to speak out. That we raise our voices. We do not agree to such oppression. We do not support any oppression, wherever it may be, Muslim, non-Muslim. Amir al-Mu'mineen says in Nahjul Balagha, a brother is either your mu'min brother, in other words, he is your brother in faith, or he is a brother in humanity. Either he is your brother in faith, he is a Muslim, or he is mu'min, he is Ahl Wilaya. Or if he is not a Muslim, he is a brother in humanity. Hence, anywhere there is zulm, anywhere there is oppression, it is a duty of the Shia of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. This was the message of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein, that we stand up, that we raise our voices, that we do not accept such oppression. Especially today, in day age today, when Muslimin are being killed, the Shia will kill Pakistan, Parachanar, Iraq, Sham, different countries. Muslims are killed in Burma. We as Shia Ahlul Bayt not only condemn them, but we should, each and every one of us, try to do whatever we can to support the Muslimin. Because we do not support oppression. If we are Hussaini, we are those who rise against the Yazidi powers. We are those who can never accept oppression. We curse them in Ziyarat Ashura, those who oppressed. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. In other words, the family tree, the pure family tree, is a blessing. It is a fruit from which human beings eat. Maybe not a physical fruit, but it is a spiritual fruit. Imam Hussein alayhi salam is a fruit, or he is the food for soul. Like you have food, you eat food. Physical food is for the physical body. Abu Abdullah al-Hussein is for the spiritual body. Abu Abdullah al-Hussein is for the ruh, for the spirit, the guidance. Like physical food helps us grow physically, guidance, hidayah, makes us grow spiritually and makes the soul grow. Amir al-Mu'mineen says, we are that family tree that guides. and guidance is only from Shajaratul Tayyibah. In other words, another thing this shows is that Amir al-Mu'mineen's family tree was such that it is unmatched until date, until today and until the end of time. No one can point a finger at the ancestry or the pure progeny of Amir al-Mu'mineen. No one can lay even a small allegation that na'udhu billah wa la'ayadhu billah, Amir al-Mu'mineen was from a family, na'udhu billah, that his father was upon kufr and shirk. That his father, the Holy Prophet said to him, Ya Aba Talib, accept Islam, accept Islam. Abu Talib said, no, I am on the deen of my ajdad, I am on the deen of my forefathers. Quran is saying Amir al-Mu'mineen is from Shajaratul Tayyibah. Amir al-Mu'mineen is from the family tree of Ibrahim. And there is no kufr, there is no nifaq, there is no batil found in this Shajaratul Tayyibah. So it goes to show the ancestry, the progeny, the lineage of Ali ibn Abi Talib, whether you trace it in Quran or you trace it in riwayat, it remains pure in terms of guidance, in terms of blood, and in terms of faith in Islam. That each and every father remained a muwahhid. Muwahhid is someone who's believer of Tawheed, who is Ahl al-Tawheed, who are the ones who believe in the oneness of God, who never bow down to the idols. Ali ibn Abi Talib himself, who is the Quran declaring the first to say labbaik to the Holy Prophet. His father Abu Talib was muwahhid. His father Abdul Muttalib, his father Hashim, Abdul Manaf, all the way up until Ibrahim. From Ibrahim all the way up until Adam Abul Bashar. Each and every one of them form a major part of this Shajaratul Tayyibah. That this Shajara is one that will remain until the end of time, without doubt, the most purest of lineages, that no one can raise a finger on them. And for this reason we find that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose this pure shajara, this pure family tree, to guide the masses, to guide humanity, to guide the people who came to them with questions, who came to them for guidance. Ali ibn Abi Talib would sit on the mimbar of Kufa and say, Saluni, saluni qabla an tafkaduni. Ask me, before you lose me. فَإِنِّي أَعْرَفُ الطُّرُوقِ السَّمَاءِ. For I know the secrets of the heavens. Ask me, but people never learned from Ali ibn Abi Talib. They would mock Ali ibn Abi Talib. They would refuse to question Ali ibn Abi Talib. And when they did, they would ask silly questions. Ya Ali, how many hair on my head? How much hair in my beard? You know what Amir al-Mu'mineen replied to people like this? Amir al-Mu'mineen said, for each and every hair in your head, Allah has placed a shaitan on your head. And the child that is in your house will kill my son Aba Abdullah in Karbala. Sa'ad bin Abi Waqas. His son Umar ibn Sa'ad was a child at that time. Amir al-Mu'mineen would cry in the well, and he would hit his chest, that this chest is full of ilm, this chest is full of knowledge, but no one wants to learn. No one asks me. He would cry to Kumail ibn Ziyad al-Nakha'i, Ya Kumail, there is knowledge, there is a spring of knowledge that is bursting to come out. But no one wants to benefit from the knowledge. No one. If only they had benefit, if only they had learned from the teachings of Ali ibn Abi Talib. If only we had utilized the knowledge that existed within the chest of Ali ibn Abi Talib. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. It is said that Al-Afif al-Kindi narrates this riwayah. He says that we were often jealous that Ali ibn Abi Talib was so favored by the Holy Prophet. And he narrates this. He says, one day I was a tajir, I was a businessman. For business I went to meet Abbas ibn Abdul Muttalib. I said to Abbas, who is that man? Pointing to a man in the far distance. He saw a man come out of the tents. and he was looking towards the sky for the direction, for the position of the sun, as if he was looking for the time of salah, for the time of namaz. And then after him, a lady exits the tents, the camps. She comes and stands behind this man. Afif al-Kindi and Abbas ibn Abdul Muttalib are watching. A few moments later, a young man exits the camps and stands behind. And then they stand, and then they bend, and then they fall on the ground. He says to Abbas, "Oh Abbas, who is this man? And what is this?" He says, "You see that man there in the front? That is my nephew, the Holy Prophet. That is Muhammad ibn Abdullah. That is the one who brought the religion of Islam." He says, "You see the lady behind? That is Khadija. That is the lady who is the wife of my nephew Muhammad." And then they said, "Who is that young man behind?" He says, "That is Ali ibn Abi Talib. He is that young boy who, when no one would say labbaik to the Holy Prophet, who when no one would come to the rescue of Ali, of Rasulullah, this man would say labbaik ya Rasulullah. This man would rise to defend the Holy Prophet. When the Holy Prophet would go into the bazaar of Mecca for tabligh of Islam, Quraysh would throw stones. The children of Quraysh would throw stones. The Holy Prophet complains to Abu Talib. Abu Talib sends Ali with him. And from that moment onwards, any child of any mushrik that would throw stones at the Holy Prophet, Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib would deal with him. Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib was the first to say labbaik. Hence in the Quran, he is known to be the foremost, sabiqun. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given them privilege, those who are amongst the sabiqun, those who were amongst the first ones to say labbaik. And for this reason the Holy Prophet would often say to Ali ibn Abi Talib, "Ya Ali, anta khalifati, anta wasi wa wali min ba'di." You are my wali, you are my khalifa, you are my wasi. And he would show the public, he would show the Muslims that this young child, who is the first one to say labbaik to me when their companions who are old in age remain silent, it is for this reason that I announce today at that young age that after me you are to remember Ali ibn Abi Talib. And that if you want haqq, you are to stay with Ali ibn Abi Talib. Ali ibn Abi Talib was very careful of his duties towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ali ibn Abi Talib was very careful of his duties towards the Holy Prophet, towards the Messenger of God. He would never jump in front of the Messenger of God. He would never try to influence the decisions of the Messenger of God. Anything the Messenger of God would say, the Holy Imam would implement and execute the orders of the Messenger of Allah. In the same way, there was someone else who was very careful of his brother. That was Al-Abbas ibn Amir al-Mu'mineen. In the same way, Ali ibn Abi Talib was careful towards his duties to Rasulullah. Al-Abbas ibn Amir al-Mu'mineen was very careful of his duties towards his brother Abu Abdullah al-Hussaini. To the extent that Abbas was so humble. Abbas was so pure-hearted that he never once calls his brother, brother, Akhi. He would always call him Sayyidi ya Hussain, Sayyidi Mawlai, my master Hussain, my Mawla Hussain. Give me hukm, give me order. And so there comes a time in the day of Ashura that Abbas feels that now it is time for him to go. Abbas feels that now his brother is all alone, and that it is for him to go and face the enemies of Banu Umayyah. And so, brothers and sisters, Abbas comes to his brother Aba Abdullah al-Hussein, saying, Sayyidi Mawlai, is there permission, is there idhn for me to go and fight? Do you give me permission to go and face the enemy? Aba Abdullah al-Hussein, as soon as Imam Hussein heard, Imam Hussein became worried, saying, Abbas, you are the flag bearer of my army. You are the alamdar. You are the one in which there is hope for Zainab. You are the one in which there is hope for Ruqayya and Sakina. You are the one in which lies the hope of the children. You want to go and fight? Abu al-Fadl Abbas says, Mawlai, I cannot stand to see the enemy taunt you. I cannot stand to see the enemy laugh at you. I cannot stand to see the thirst of Ali Asghar. Give me permission to go and fight. Aba Abdullah al-Hussein says, you are the Qamar of Banu Hashim. It is very difficult for your brother to give you permission. It is very hard for me to let you go. But oh Abbas, if you must go, then go and bring some water, for my children are thirsty. For Sakina is thirsty. Go and bring some water. Abbas takes the container of water, he mounts the horse and he heads towards the Euphrates, the Shatt al-Furat. It is said 4,000 of the army of Yazid were gathered at the Shatt al-Furat. Umar ibn Sa'ad said, stop Abbas from reaching the Shatt al-Furat. Do not let Abbas go into the river. 4,000 of them guard. Abbas fights with his bravery. Abbas fights with his chivalry. And the enemy runs away. And there comes a time, Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas enters the river of Furat. He comes down from the horse. It is said that there comes a time, Abbas takes some water in his hands and he raises the water towards his mouth. The Rawi narrates this. He says, I saw Abbas take the water close to his lips. And I was watching Abbas closely. After a few moments, it is said Abbas throws the water back into the water. Imam Sadiq says, at this moment, the heart of my uncle Abbas was burning. Abbas throws the water. The poet says, why did Abbas throw the water in the water back into the river? Because when he took the water in his palms, he saw the reflection of Ali Asghar. He saw the dry lips of his brother Aba Abdullah. Abbas fills the container. He mounts the horse. And now his main aim and goal and mission is to go back to Zainab. He takes the horse and he goes towards the camps of Hussein. He does not have any intention to fight. His only intention is that the water reaches Aba Abdullah. But Umar ibn Sa'ad says, do not let Abbas reach the camps of Hussein. Stop Abbas from going back. It is said that Abbas at one moment is attacked from the right, and the right arm of Abbas falls to the ground, and then the enemy surround him from the left. A man draws his sword and cuts the left arm of Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas. At this moment Abbas holds on to the container. He only has one hope, that I bring the water to Aba Abdullah. But at this moment Harmala fires an arrow which goes into the container of water. At that moment Abbas stops. Abbas no longer wants to go back. Abbas stops the horse. Another arrow comes and hits the chest of Abbas. And another arrow is fired. And this arrow pierces the eye of Abul Fadl al-Abbas. At this moment, blood begins to gush from the eyes. Abul Fadl al-Abbas can't see. The Ravi says Abbas bends to take out the arrow. An enemy approaches with the pole. There is a metal pole. As he approaches, he strikes the head of Abul Fadl al-Abbas. Abbas comes on the ground. This was the first time. He says, Adrikni akhi ya Hussein. Oh brother Hussein, help me. Imam Hussein rushes towards his brother. The enemy fears Hussein. They back away. Hussein reaches Abbas. Hussein reaches Abbas. He takes the head of Abbas and he puts it in his lap. Abbas cannot see. Abbas takes his head off the lap of Abba Abdullah. He takes Abbas and he places him in his lap. Abbas removes himself again. Imam al-Hussein said, Akhi ya Abbas, Ana akhika al-Hussein. I am your brother Hussein. Why do you not allow me to rest your head in my lap? Do you know what Abbas says? Abbas says, oh Hussein, you are putting my head in your lap, but in a few moments Shimmer will be sitting on your chest, who will place your head in their lap, who will come upon your